On today's show, a bright idea in the North Woods. Golden Eagle Lodge celebrates skiing history by going back in time. We help you keep your backyard birds fed and happy on even the coldest winter days. And the most frigid pheasant hunt we've ever documented.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hey everybody, Laura and I welcome you to today's adventure.
Up first, we head north to the edge of the Boundary Waters, where cross-country skiing still remains a sport by day.
And also a tradition by night, thanks to the light. Minnesota's winter solstice might be short on sunlight, but days of fun last long up here. Golden Eagle Lodge, a Boundary Waters resort with a suddenly bright future.
It's winter wonderland and it's a little haven.
The sort of snowy destination where guests dream of Swick's blue forecasts. Days begin with owners Ruth Wagner and Zach Bauman.
I like to call it the Eagle.
Oh, no.
And their newest resort addition.
I'm ready. People are really turning back to winter sport, outdoor sport, and that's a really cool thing to see.
Exactly why Ruth rolls along at a lumbering 5 miles an hour.
It's a whole different world. It's clean, it's pristine, it's unforgettable. We have 70 kilometers of ski trail. Our whole system we co-own with Bearskin Lodge.
A web of trails winding through a remote Superior National Forest.
I love getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning just to be out there by yourself, and you see the moose tracks, the wolf tracks, the otter tracks.
And of course, those pristine impressions Ruth leaves behind. Cold nirvana to those who explore on Nordic skis. Especially that moment when darkness slowly drowns out daylight.
It's just kind of mesmerizing.
Classic kerosene-fired lights.
They are for sure iconic for the lodge.
A Golden Eagle winter tradition started by Zach's grandparents.
They'd ski around every night and light those lanterns and ski around every night and put them out, and then they had to clean them constantly.
Over time, the bright idea slowly faded away. Until newlyweds Zach and Ruth took over the lodge late last year.
I knew the lanterns existed, but I saw them for myself, and I was like, Zach, we got to do something with this.
Together, they brainstormed a new bright idea.
People love them.
Now wired with LED technology.
You get that bop, 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 bop right down the line, and you can see the snow, you can see the track, and you can just go.
Sue Hankey's ski crew remembers the old lanterns.
And it was magical, absolutely magical.
Exactly why Golden Eagle brought back such simple pieces of Northwoods lore.
It just brings us right back.
It'll get me out there again.
Yeah.
I gave up on it.
It just makes you feel like you're away from it all and really close to the night of nature.
We knew there was a lit trail, which we were very excited about, but we didn't know about these specific lanterns.
These lights keep the Joes family up at night, mostly trying to keep up with the 5-year-old.
Mama, I just like skiing so much downhill when they go fast. So I love fasting and heights. So
I love it. It's amazing.
It's the coolest thing like in the world you could ever experience.
This is not what most people get to experience, and I get to experience this every day.
You can too, if you show up. And don't worry, they'll leave the light on, or 2 or 3.
Just being out there at night when there's no wind, it's just dead calm. You can just hear the snowflakes. The lanterns are their own awesome experience.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, North Dakota Tourism, Star Bank, and by Ice Force by Rapala.
You know, it's a kind gesture to feed our feathered friends during the winter months. Not only does it benefit them, but it also benefits us by getting closer to nature. I'm headed to All Seasons Wild Bird Store to show you how to get started feeding winter birds. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Laura. Welcome to All Seasons Wild Bird Store.
Well, thank you for having us here today. I am really excited to get started feeding winter birds. I see there's a lot of options here.
There are a lot of options.
So what are the first steps to getting started?
First step is deciding where you will be when you're watching the birds. Sit in your favorite chair at your workstation. That will help us decide what feeder you should use. Winter bird feeding, you need to have nutrient-dense food. You could do a double suet feeder with the tail prop for the pileated prop their tail so you can get a good whack at that suet. This is for feeding on a patio area. It's got a patio base. These are 2 options of window feeders. They'll get used to seeing you there. It isn't going to bother them. Great way to see birds up close and personal.
Do you have any concern about birds flying into windows when there's feeders on the window?
Actually, it helps to keep them from hitting the window because they realize it's not a pass-through.
I understand if you have a squirrel issue in your backyard, this feeder's for you.
It is. I love this feeder. Squirrels, when they touch this, it closes off the food source and they can't get at it.
And that means no food for you, right?
Right.
Buffet is closed. So now that we have our feeders, obviously we need to fill them with food. And I'm guessing different types of seed attract different types of birds, correct?
Right, right. So this type of feeder is a Niger feeder, little tiny slit holes, so you need a small seed like Niger and chips to go in that one.
And this is for chickadees?
Chickadees, goldfinches, house finches, winter visiting finches. Another option is dried mealworms.
These look delicious.
Yeah, really great nutrition for the birds.
Who doesn't love worms, right? We all do, don't we? And the suet, of course, is for woodpeckers and other...
Right, so birds that can cling would use this feeder, like a chickadee, nuthatch, nice high density, high fat.
And that's important for the winter to make sure it is high fat for the birds, right?
Right. And birds that are lucky enough to have a bird feeder in their area enter breeding season healthier and have better broods.
So we have our feeders, we have our food. Does it matter where you put the bird buffet outside?
It does. And if you want to follow me, I'll show you our display out back.
So we are in the land of bird feeders out here. Do you have any tips on where to place the bird feeders once you get them to your backyard?
Sure. If you're worrying about squirrels, you want to put a baffle over the top and not too close to the tree trunk because they can jump. Yeah, I do like the idea of having bird feeders out where there's cover so the birds can hopscotch from one tree to another and then to your feeders. They seem to be more comfortable. Interacting with nature is really good for us. It lowers blood pressure, all of those things. And feeding birds in your backyard just brings that nature right up where you can see them and where you can interact with them, and benefits them to have the food and benefits us to have them.
So remember to set up the bird buffet in your backyard. It'll brighten your day as much as it does the birds.
Still ahead, a bone-chilling hunt worth every moment of frostbite. But first, we look at COVID's impact on our winter life outdoors.
Closed captioning provided by Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
No doubt COVID-19 has rocked our world.
Certainly has, and even during trying times, many Minnesotans dashed into the outdoors.
Exactly why Travis Frank headed outdoors to look at COVID's impact on our winter spaces.
Wilderness and water have a way of providing peace. It is, after all, the nature of nature.
Getting outside, getting out of the house, getting on the water or in the field or whatever, it's important to do.
Especially when life takes unexpected turns, like a global pandemic.
Oh, it's just good for the soul. You get some good exercise. You know, you're out with nature. It's just beautiful.
Scott Ellingson is a regular visitor at Carver Park.
Yeah, I try to ski 3-4 times a week.
This winter, his favorite trails have exploded in popularity.
No, we've never seen it this busy. It's just been crazy busy and a lot of fun.
Luke Skinner manages Carver Park, one of several in Minnesota's Three Rivers Park system.
We're seeing somewhere between 2- and 3-fold increase. 3 times the amount of people we normally would see.
Their participation spike is a direct result of COVID-19.
Social distancing is at its finest out here in the park.
From hiking to skiing, snowshoeing to kick sledding, families are flocking to outdoor spaces.
So it's great. People are rediscovering the outdoors.
This surge can be found statewide, nationwide, and even inside. Factories that manufacture outdoor goods are working overtime to keep up with high consumer demands. In 2020, Ice Castle Fish House sold a record number of houses. That same demand applies to ATVs, snowmobiles, boats, and more. Out on the trails, Minnesota state parks have seen a 50% increase in use. Some hunting license sales are up as much as 20%. In 2020, Minnesota fishing licenses rose by more than 100,000 anglers.
Bluegill. Hello, in-town marina.
Ben Mace and his family own the in-town marina on the south shore of Lake Waconia.
No, we can't get suckers and shiners right now, I'm sorry.
They've witnessed the increase in traffic firsthand.
It's been pretty extreme, the reaction people have had to want to get outdoors. Thank you very much, you guys. Thank you. Yeah, good luck today.
Chad and Megan Gens understand the appeal of life on the lake.
Here we are.
Their ice shack has become a second winter home.
Everybody in.
Right beside several hundred others.
Well,
City on the ice.
Oh, there comes a fish. Get it down there. Okay, be ready. When you feel them pull, you gotta start reeling.
When we chose to purchase this, we said we're buying memories.
Yeah. Memories created together as a family.
Ice fishing is a great pastime and a family-oriented sport, and people love it. You're on a roll. Another bluegill. It's all about the memories.
Exactly why the great outdoors are always a great place to be. Even during a global pandemic.
It's nice to be able to remember where we came from and what's important, and that's being with family and getting outdoors.
It is, after all, the nature of nature.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories, Pearson Salted Nut Roll, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Up next, a December bird hunt I will never forget. All I can say is brr. Frigid, cold, biting.
Treks across Antarctica.
Mid-December on the unforgivable prairie.
There's no doubt I'm cold.
Temp 0. Wind northwest at 15. Wind chill, well, let's just say it's cold enough that it hurts.
As long as the trigger finger works.
For a while.
Yeah.
Time to gear up. Tools of the winter hunting trade look different. A pile of snow blankets the fields. We need help.
You're just able to go a lot longer with the snowshoes on. And
yeah, why don't you go in the far one a little bit?
That's PF member John Miley. And behind the mask, Anthony Hauk.
I can't tell if you're smiling or crying.
The three of us face the cold wind and trudge off into 100 or so acres up in central Minnesota.
This is nuts.
you know, it's the late season, subarctic temperatures, but there's an odd sense of satisfaction when you're out here.
Maybe because we're sort of beating Mother Nature at her own game. Well, maybe not.
Rooster! Rooster!
Can't say we're beating the birds. See our problem? Right there.
More birds. More birds. More birds.
It's the definition of late season hunting. You'll see a lot of birds at a distance.
And no doubt it's downright tough to hunt in snowshoes. Just watch.
The rooster gets up and you're getting on him, all of a sudden your feet don't move, you're planted.
The things we go through for late season birds.
Which is why the shoes eventually come off.
My hand's supposed to be that color?
We decide to tackle, oh yes, the dreaded cattails. They're thick, deep, snowy, tough.
Get him, Reba, get him, Reba, get him. Locked up.
There you go, hen. Hen. You want to see how cold it is? Hen. There you go. See, couldn't even see it.
The good news, we've got cold birds flying.
Dang it, that was it. Hen. I can kind of hear you coming.
On this day, it's pretty clear. Luck is not on my side.
My gun didn't let me shoot a second time.
Even the other guys.
Rooster, rooster!
Struggle. Just why we love late season hunts.
That's some of the harder walking we've done this year.
I'm sure that tomorrow my body's going to be telling me I have muscles that I've been neglecting for some time, but whose fault is that?
That's the thing about these hunts. Well, pseudo expeditions. If you work hard enough and walk far enough, eventually good things happen.
All right. Boy, they dig that one out of there.
It's fun to see 100 birds, but you know, you're looking for that one opportunity at a time like this, and that can make your whole entire day worth it.
And maybe, just maybe, the best part.
I'm hungry, my stomach's growling.
Guiltless eating at the end.
If I have a 10,000 calorie evening, I'm not going to feel bad about it.
We're out of here.
Good old Minnesota winter.
What a day. And think about this. Photojournalist Aaron Ochtenberg's got to shoot with his hand up like this all day long, literally frozen.
That sounds brutal, actually.
It looked better than it was.
Well, that about does it for us. We'll see you back here next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.